Signal strong, starting transmission. You felt it. That nagging sense that something about the internet has changed. You post a comment. The reply feels off. You scroll through 100 photos, and every face looks slightly too perfect. The numbers are there. The engagement is there. But the texture of it, the human irregularity, is gone. You aren't paranoid. You're noticing something that took researchers years to quantify, and now they have. In 2021, an anonymous post appeared on the internet's most chaotic corner. No name, no credentials, just a theory. The theory was this: the internet died years ago. What replaced it isn't a place anymore. It's a machine that looks like a place. They called it the dead internet theory. And for 3 years, it was dismissed, called Paranoia, called fringe, filed next to flat earth and lizard people until the data arrived. The 2025 Imperva Bad Bot Report, one of the most comprehensive analyses of internet traffic ever published, crossed a threshold nobody wanted to see. For the first time in the history of the internet, humans are the minority. On their own invention, the person who wrote that post in 2021, whoever they were, wasn't ahead of the curve. They were already behind it. The tipping point had already happened. They just didn't have the report yet. 37% of all web traffic is now classified as bad bots, malicious, automated, invisible, and that number has risen for 6 consecutive years. Because here's what changed. The old bots were clumsy. You could feel them. The new ones use AI to mimic human mouse movements, click patterns, browser fingerprints. They crack CAPTCHAs. They use residential IP addresses so they look like they're coming from someone's living room. They aren't bots anymore in the way you picture bots. They are digital ghosts wearing human masks every single day. In March 2026, last month, Reddit announced something that would have seemed absurd 5 years ago. Accounts flagged for suspicious behavior will now be required to prove they are human. Passkeys, Face ID, biometric scans, and in some countries, government IID. In the UK and Europe, age assurance laws already require identity verification just to access basic social features. You hand your passport to a third-party vendor called Persona to prove you have a pulse, Reddit's own co-founder said publicly. He doesn't know how to sell face scanning to his users. That's the man who built the platform. He doesn't know how to convince people this is normal, because it isn't. But here's the question nobody is asking loudly enough. If 51% of traffic is already bots, and the bots are now indistinguishable from humans at the infrastructure level, who are these ID checks actually filtering? They aren't just filtering out bots. They are cataloging the survivors. Every time you engage with a rage bait post, you are not fighting a person. You are feeding a reinforcement learning algorithm. The AI generates the take. You provide the emotional reaction. The system uses that data to refine its next move. It is a closed loop, and you are the only human in it. The goal was never just to sell you something. It was to manufacture consensus, 10,000 verified accounts agreeing on a radical new idea, and you fall in line. But what if those accounts are running on the same server? You've seen the AI slop, the shrimp Jesus images, the hands with 7 fingers. You laugh at them. You think the AI is still stupid. That's the payoff. That's the noise, designed to make you look at the obvious fake, while the high-fidelity model quietly takes over everything that matters. There is a term for this: incentivized reality tunneling. Flood the space with infinite low-cost content until real creators can't compete. Until they leave. And when they leave, the internet doesn't die because the servers turn off. It dies because there's no one left inside. Here is where it stops being a theory. In 2024, Anthropic shipped Claude Computer Use, an AI that operates a browser, clicks links, reads pages, fills comment sections. purchases products. At the infrastructure level, indistinguishable from a human user. Twin.so. Browser use. A category of tools now shipping as consumer products. AI agents that browse, interact, and engage across the open web autonomously. These are not research demos. They are live, in production. Available to anyone. The Internet's infrastructure was never built to distinguish between a human hand on a mouse and an agent executing the same action. The gap doesn't exist at the protocol level. There is no gap. And Dig, Reddit's most serious competitor, shut down entirely last month. Overwhelmed by bots. Not hacked, not acquired, abandoned. Because when the machines outnumber the people stop showing up. The dead internet theory assumed someone planned this, a room somewhere, a conspiracy with architects. But that's not what happened. Nobody coordinated that nagging sense that something about the internet has changed. It emerged because the tools got cheap enough, and then free, and then shipped as a monthly subscription. The next time a website asks you to prove you are human, ask yourself who decided that was something that needed proving. You watched this to the end. So did they. A theory proved true, but no conspiracy. Next file will be about how we seemed to have moved on from its being UFOs and aliens to now its official UAP disclosures made in Congress and the NHI cover-up. Different language, same behaviors.